She looked into the mirror to hear the truth. But what the mirror said slowly destroyed her life, her crown, and her soul. This is not just a story about beauty. It's about obsession, betrayal, and the one truth that shattered a queen's perfect world. The queen's mirror spoke the truth, and it ruined her. Chapter 1. The Mirror's Whisper. Queen Evelyn ruled a peaceful kingdom. She was beautiful, powerful, and admired by many. But she feared one thing more than war or betrayal: growing old. In her private chamber, she kept a magical mirror, a gift from a forgotten sorceress. This mirror was no ordinary one. It could speak. And every day, Queen Evelyn asked the same question. "Mirror, mirror, who is the fairest of all?" The mirror always replied, "You, my queen." Those words fed her pride and soothed her fear. But Evelyn's daughter, Princess Leora, was now 16. Gentle, kind, and radiant, Leora shone like a morning star. Servants whispered that the young princess was becoming more beautiful than the queen. Evelyn began to notice the change too. Her heart, once proud, now twisted with silent jealousy. She covered her gray strands, used rare oils on her skin, and avoided the sun to keep her youth. Still, the mirror's words were what she trusted the most. One cold morning, Evelyn stood before the mirror, waiting for her usual praise. But the mirror spoke differently this time. "You were the fairest queen, but now it is Princess Leora." The queen's face froze. Her hands trembled, and her lips pressed into a thin line. "Liar!" she screamed. But the mirror did not change its answer. The truth had been spoken, and that truth became the queen's poison. Her pride was shattered, and something dark began to grow in her heart. That day, Evelyn looked at her daughter not with love, but with quiet hatred. Leora had not done anything wrong. She still kissed her mother's cheek and played the harp in the garden. But the queen could not see her innocence anymore. All she saw was a rival, one who had stolen her beauty, her pride, and her throne of admiration. And so, the queen began to plan something no mother should ever dream of. Chapter 2. A Daughter's Disappearance. Queen Evelyn could not bear the idea of being second. She called upon an old huntsman who had once served the royal army. "Take Leora to the woods," she whispered, "and make sure she never returns." The huntsman's eyes widened, but he dared not question the queen. He took the princess by the hand the next morning, telling her they were going on a secret trip for her birthday. Leora, full of joy, followed without fear. Deep in the forest, the huntsman drew his knife, but his hands shook. Leora's innocence broke his heart. She sang as she picked wildflowers, unaware of the danger beside her. At the last moment, the huntsman dropped his knife and fell to his knees. "Forgive me," he cried. "I cannot harm you." He told her everything: the queen's jealousy, the mirror, and the terrible order. Leora was silent. Tears rolled down her cheeks, not for herself, but for her mother's broken heart. The huntsman told her to run far and hide. He gave her his cloak and a small dagger for protection. "Go, child. Disappear," he said. Leora ran deeper into the woods, leaving behind her crown, her home, and the life she had always known. The huntsman returned to the queen and lied. "It is done," he said. Evelyn smiled for the first time in weeks. The mirror once again declared her the fairest. But the glow of those words didn't last long. In the forest, Leora found shelter in a small abandoned cottage. Animals gathered around her, sensing her kindness. She began living a quiet life, growing food, weaving clothes, and healing wounded birds. But each night, she missed her mother. She still hoped that Evelyn would change, that the queen would one day search for her with tears, not anger. But Leora didn't know that Evelyn believed her dead, and had already begun preparing to erase her memory forever. Chapter 3. The Mirror's Guilt. Weeks passed, and the kingdom noticed Leora's absence. The queen lied to the court, claiming the princess had left for distant learning. But whispers spread quickly. Some believed the princess had vanished. Others spoke of dark magic. Meanwhile, Queen Evelyn's joy slowly faded. She had her crown, her mirror's praise, but not peace. The halls felt colder. The garden was quiet. Her daughter's laughter, once an everyday music, was now a ghost in her ears. Every day she still asked the mirror, "Who is the fairest?" And the mirror replied, "You, my queen." But those words began to feel hollow. The mirror, though magical, started to reflect more than beauty. It reflected guilt. Evelyn began to avoid her own reflection. Her sleep grew restless. She would see Leora in her dreams, running through fire, crying in the woods, calling her name. The queen would wake up sweating, whispering, "Leora." One night, something strange happened. The mirror spoke before Evelyn even asked. "She lives," it said, "and your lies have cursed your crown." The queen stared in horror. "No, I made the right choice," she whispered, but her voice cracked. She began to see lines on her face that weren't there before. Her hair lost its shine. No potion could fix it. Her heart, burdened by guilt and fear, was changing her from the inside out. Desperate, Evelyn returned to the woods, disguised as a healer. She wanted to find the girl and finish what she started. But the forest had changed. It protected Leora now. Strange animals blocked her path. Thorns tore her robe. The wind whispered warnings. The queen, once feared by all, was now powerless in front of the truth. Her own mirror had turned against her, and she realized too late, some truths once spoken cannot be silenced. Chapter 4. A Kingdom's Awakening. In the forest, Leora had become stronger. She had no riches, no servants, but she had found her voice. She helped lost travelers, cured sick animals, and sang under the stars. Her name spread beyond the woods. People called her the Forest Maiden. Some believed she was a spirit. Others believed she was a blessing. Her kindness became legend, and her face, once hidden, began appearing in paintings, passed quietly among villagers. Back at the castle, cracks began to show. Crops failed. The river dried. People began to lose trust in the queen. "Where is Princess Leora?" they asked. But Evelyn gave no answers. One day, a wounded soldier from the forest limped into the court. "I saw her," he said. "The princess lives." The hall erupted. Hope returned to the people's eyes. The queen's silence spoke louder than truth. The lies were no longer enough. The council demanded a search. Knights, villagers, and even old friends set out to find the princess. Evelyn was cornered, her secrets exposed. She locked herself in her chamber, asking the mirror once more, "What should I do?" But the mirror had no words left. Its surface cracked. It had done its duty, spoken the truth. Now the truth had returned, and Evelyn had nowhere to run. Her rule was crumbling, built on the ashes of betrayal. And then, one morning, as the sun rose, Princess Leora returned, not with anger, but with grace. She stood at the castle gates, dressed in forest robes, with animals around her and villagers at her back. She asked for no crown. She wanted no revenge. She came to heal what had been broken. But the queen, watching from her tower, felt her heart collapse. Her daughter had become everything she once was, and more. Chapter 5. The Ruin and the Rise. The castle gates opened for Leora. The people cheered. Flowers were thrown at her feet. She bowed humbly, placing her hand on her chest. "I am not here to rule," she said. "I am here to restore." The council offered her the crown, but she declined. "Not yet," she whispered. "Let the kingdom heal first." Her words spread through the land like spring rain. The kingdom, once broken, began to rise again. Queen Evelyn, locked in her tower, was no longer feared. She stared into her broken mirror, but it showed her nothing. No beauty, no voice, just emptiness. Alone, forgotten, and haunted, she realized the truth had not just ruined her, it had freed her daughter. The pain she caused had built something greater. She wept not for her crown, but for the love she had thrown away. No spell could undo the past. No mirror could fix a shattered heart. Leora visited her mother only once. She brought no anger. "I forgive you," she said softly. Evelyn turned away, unable to meet her daughter's eyes. That forgiveness cut deeper than any blade. It was pure and undeserved, but it brought peace. Leora left a flower beside the mirror and quietly walked away. That night, Evelyn whispered one final question to the mirror, but it never answered again. Years later, the kingdom was ruled by Leora, not with gold or fear, but with love. Her story became legend. And in every tale, one truth remained. A mirror once spoke, and its truth destroyed a queen. But it gave birth to a greater one, a queen of kindness, who rose from ashes and taught the world that real beauty is never skin deep. It lives in the heart, even after the mirror breaks. What would you do if a mirror told you the truth you never wanted to hear? Was the queen a victim of fate or her own pride? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Glorious English for more powerful tales that speak to the heart. Your support helps us bring more stories to life, so hit that bell icon and be part of our storytelling family.